What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/CubcamTV for this, another edition of the Cubcast, our now daily section where we look at different news stories going on in and around the world of international music. And I'm very excited to be here to get into this today. We're running these as regularly as we can, hopefully daily moving forward, looking at different bits of news that are landing in and around the world of Afrobeats, dancehall, and any other of the genres we do cover here on the page. So today, we're going to be taking a look at what's going on with Fireboy Dml. Obviously, he has an album that is very highly anticipated around the corner that I am very, very excited to get into. However, we've seen a very, very exciting announcement about said project that is going to be released on August the 5th. Obviously, this is following on for a couple of big single releases that I'm very excited to dive into and break down in the full, but this is going to be his first solo project since back in 2020 when he released Apollo, which was, of course, quite a big, substantial release for him at the time. As always, friends, we're going to dive into this and break it down in as many ways as we can, break down the track listing that we're currently aware of. But if you are new to the channel, please make sure you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page, turning notifications on, of course, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff. And let's jump into this discussion now. It's a really, really interesting one for Fireboy Dml because it's been a good time for him over the past few months. Obviously, the success of the Peru remix primarily has been a big factor in this, but he's been growing stock-wise in general. Like, it's definitely not entirely down to that remix, but it would be kind of false to say that has not played a massive part in his growth. That track itself has actually managed to spend 6 weeks on top of the US Afrobeats Billboard chart, which is huge. I'm pretty sure at some point it did enter into the global charts as well. So this is a tune that has brought a lot of attention to what Fireboy Dml is doing, and stuff like that is never a bad thing. It's always a good thing, especially in the way that you spin it. Obviously, we saw him opening up the BET Awards where he was nominated for Best International Artist. Again, a huge achievement and a great thing to see. We saw him opening up one of the performances with a combination of Peru and his newer single Playboy. Again, bringing in a lot of kind of additional popularity and making sure that he is able to showcase what he is doing to a global audience. Obviously, the BET Awards are kind of seen as a kind of global look at what's going on in black music worldwide, and it's a really exciting thing for Fireboy Dml to be kind of recognised at those awards and given the opportunity to perform. Alongside this, 2021 was a pretty incredible year for Fireboy Dml, primarily in regards to collaborations more than anything else, because we've known he's been able to put together fantastic solo material. We know he's an artist that has the creativity to build fantastic individual releases, but it's safe to say that 2021 for him was a year of collaborations. Obviously, he opened up with the likes of a wicked collaboration with Czech. That one went by the name History. We also saw him on the official Sere remix alongside Spinel and Six Lack as well, which is absolutely crazy. We also saw him appear on a wicked link-up with Western that went by the name Be My Guest. We also saw him on one of my favourite tracks of the year, which was Running alongside Ladipo. And then, of course, rounding off the year, I believe it was on Christmas Eve, the actual video dropped for the Peru remix with Ed Sheeran. So that's an incredible year of collaborative material when you actually sit and break it down. But as far as I'm aware, he didn't release much solo material. He may have put together a couple of videos here and there or whatever. But in general, it was all about remix content for him last year, which is great to see. And now, this is kind of interesting because obviously with an album project being announced and the sort of official announcement being launched, it does make you think how many of the tracks on this project are going to be solo releases. Obviously, his latest single, Playboy, which is the title track for the album, is very, very powerful indeed, and it has been taking the global market by storm as well. That's been moving up and down the US Billboard charts. It's been in there since week one, and it's still in there now. So this is a track that has been kind of popularized both in Nigeria, the wider African market, and of course the American market as well. It's been a huge tune here in the UK. I've heard it on radio and a load of other places as well. So it's been really fun watching Fireboy Dml kind of expand his sound to a much more global, a globalized audience, which is great to see. Obviously, at this year, we've also seen him get involved in a hugely unexpected remix, shall we say. We saw him get involved with the remix of Frozen by Madonna and, of course, Sick Kick as well, which became somewhat of a TikTok sensation. We saw the virality of this one happening before it even happened, and then Fireboy obviously jumped on the remix, and there was loads of press about it. There was loads of photo shoots with Fireboy Dml and Madonna kind of wearing like black leather clothing together and stuff, and it was quite like a big kind of fanfare being made about this as a remix. I don't know if I've actually seen the video, if it has landed. I know I was meant to react to it, but I never actually saw it land, so it might still be out there that we need to go and check at some point. But obviously alongside this, we've also seen a couple of announcements for the album. We've seen that there is a collaboration dropping with Ashake, which is dropping this Friday, which I'm very, very excited for, that goes by the name Bandana. Now, This is a crazy release. As a link up, we know that Ashake is one of the most exciting artists in kind of Afrobeats as a globalized kind of wider sound. At the moment, he's had the fantastic start to the year. I think every release he's put together has at some point hit the top 10 in the US Afrobeats Billboard chart, which is crazy. Now, obviously, that's not the be-all and end-all, but that's a good way of gauging how his popularity is being kind of pushed on a global scale. But yeah, that goes by the name Bandana, and this is the first track alongside Playboy and Peru that has been announced for the album, specifically since the album's been announced. Which is really, really exciting. And if you head over to Apple Music, you can see that the album will actually feature 14 creations. We see that Playboy is featured on there. We see that Bandana is featured on there as track 2. Playboy is featured as track 4. Peru, the original, is featured as track 10, and the Peru remix with Ed Sheeran is featured in track 13. Now, we know there are other remixes of Peru. There's one with 21 Savage and Blast, I believe. But again, we don't know when that one is going to be. We don't know if that one's going to be a part of the album project. Also, a project I forgot from Fireboy Dml, he was featured on one of the official Azumba and Badewe remixes from Ricardo Banks as well earlier on this year. I forgot to mention that one. But there we go. Interesting stuff. There's going to be 14 tracks on the album, and this is where we get into our kind of prediction section of this episode of the Cubcast. There are some collabs I'd really like to see on there. I'd like to see Fireboy dive into something that we wouldn't necessarily expect. I'd like to see him dive into maybe a dancehall link-up, something we're seeing a lot more often now with a lot of Afrobeats artists. They are kind of reaching over to the Caribbean and getting involved with a lot of more sort of dancehall-led artists. We've seen Conscience get involved. Obviously, Popcorn's recently been announced for the Burna Boy album. It's something we've seen time and time again, and I'd really like Fireboy to dip into that kind of tradition of collaboration. Maybe linking up with someone like a Conscience, maybe a Cranium, maybe even someone like a Jamil, just to kind of do something a little bit different. Maybe even Shensia, someone along those kind of lines, as they are both in that process of cracking the US market as it currently happens. I'd also like to see a bit of a UK link up on there. We know he's got that UK kind of coverage, especially with working with Western last year. I'd like to see something a little bit outside the box, though. Maybe working with like a Wretch Free 2 or someone in that kind of bracket. Maybe a more sort of old school UK rap or grime name. And obviously, a collaboration we would love to see on this project is a further follow-up link up with Oxlade. I think Oxlade is super, super busy right now. The guy is putting out a lot of music. He's putting out a lot of singles, a lot of performances. I think this is a link up that we know could well happen, and it's a link up I would definitely like to see happen. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What link-ups would you like to see on this upcoming Fireboy Dml album? Are there any collaborations you're keen to hear on there? Obviously, we haven't seen that much solo material from Fireboy this year, so it's going to be very interesting to see where he takes a lot of the solo material. I'm really excited for that more than the collaborations this time around, because we've seen so many collaborations from Fireboy Dml over the last couple of years. I definitely think this could be a good chance for him to really express his personalised sound and where he is vocally at the moment. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you excited for this album? Do we think it's going to end up in that conversation for album of the year? And do we think it's going to be a project that definitely kind of solidifies Fireboy Dml's status on the global stage? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, friends, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you are getting involved by hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page, turning notifications on, of course, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff. And we shall see you all next time. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and peace.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a Brighton town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, Cubcast TV. Stay locked.